I'm super happy to announce the third seminar of the World Hope Forum. This forum was founded at Easter 2020, when both Philip and myself were in South Africa in lockdown in the most amazing place called Dorp. Very inspiring environment. And at that point, I felt very strangely about all the changes this virus was going to bring us, because somehow the virus was forcing us to do what we already wanted to do. It's almost like a magnifying glass on our lives. So it's about really doing too much, working too hard, burning out, buying too much, spending too much, moving too much, traveling too much, everything. Rat race. And we all knew we were in this rat race, but somehow we didn't know how to jump off. We discussed this over and over again with everybody in design, in fashion, and everywhere. And so when I started to reflect on this virus, I had the opportunity to have an interview with Marcus Vers from Design magazine. And we discussed all the repercussions and what I felt would happen, how our lives would be influenced in the post period of this pandemic. This was very early on, very early notice. So many people were offended by what I said because I saw opportunity. But many people also felt incredibly encouraged by this, because it indeed gave us the opportunity to create a reset and change. This interview became a very hot topic and went, strangely to say that in this context, but it went viral. And it is now being read by more than 1 million people, the best paper they ever had. So that means that it was a really important topic for so many people. And this somehow invited me, forced me, dragged me into this idea of the World Hope Forum. I just felt that, being in the position we are in, doing the work of forecasting we do, already activist after anti-fashion, that I needed to have this courage and voice to do something much more bigger. So with Philip, we decided to create this World Hope Forum, which is called this way because it's in direct opposition to the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is about money and about power and about politics and about lobbying. And it's rich people talking about rich behavior, talking about money. Hardly the planet is ever a subject. Hardly people are ever a subject. So we felt that we need to make a counterforce where actually creativity is the currency and where creativity is going to make the difference. And where I want creative people to be on board of boards, to be on the table, at the table. So instead of making the money, which is what creative people do, I would like us also to engineer the companies and to help create communication with the audiences and to be really in the decision processes instead of being squeezed like lemons. What happened before. So many people already in different positions, especially in fashion, but also in design, have decided to do a change of pace, to go more slow, to go more deep, to produce better, to produce more near, to try to produce much less numbers. And so we can see sort of a sliver of hope, I would say, to come. Of course, today, this is a very beautiful moment to have this seminar. When we choose the date, this was before the election results. And we just said, well, if it's the monster, it will help us, overcome. And if it is good news, it will further create hope for hope. And there was hope in this inauguration. There was a lot of times that that word came back, actually very cool. And it was a very prestigious and beautiful and still presentation with a lot of integrity, which I think was really healing, if only for a day. Of course, we cannot be fooled that we were behind walls and, you know, barbed wire. And so there was this threat, you know, but in the inner sanctum, it was quite amazing to be able to watch that. We will have backlashes, though, of the 4 or 5 years we lost, in a way, to the former reign and administration. And we have lost a lot of speed, we have lost a lot of ideas, we have lost a lot of ground. So it's really time to rekindle all these things. And this is why the program today is absolutely trying to hit all the important, very important subjects of today in society, especially American society. So the aim is to create a world of equality and hope, where the economy is a system to enable transformation and enforce happiness also, which is very important. No longer a machine which is killing nature, culture, and people in its wake, which it is now. We want to continue to work and create an economy, but we all think that these economies could be very, very different and much more equal and more profitable for more people. This is the third seminar we are organizing. The first was in October during Dutch Design Week and was set up by Petra Janssen, our ambassador in the Netherlands. And it was an absolutely wonderful beginning of this journey with a lot of people joining us. It was very happy and it made us and many people happy. The second seminar was in France. This was in, when was it, Philip? It was just before Christmas, end of November. And again, we couldn't do it live, so it was all on Zoom. It was a wonderful experience because there was really serious business people bringing us the good news how you can be very successful in business and absolutely transparent and absolutely human and absolutely almost 100% ecologic. So it was a very big seminar, I would say, which was teaching us good practice. And today we are going to have a seminar which is organized by Barbara Devres. She is a very great friend of mine. We knew each other a long time ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago. We worked together at several occasions. And then we lost sight, sometimes, you know, a wave online, but we were really far away from each other. And then we found each other again when I came to the United States. So that friendship was so strong because it has been surviving all these years. Barbara was born to be a beautiful woman, and therefore she became a model, famous for her very big, long legs. And she worked in Paris and in the United States, but she also worked in Australia, where she became really famous for especially for her legs. And then she continued to model, but she started to work in St. Martin's in London and later Royal College. So she wanted to become a designer. She became a very gifted designer and then moved to New York, where she took on the building of the CK brand for Calvin Klein. I've been working then with her, and I remember vividly how well she managed that and how amazing that collection was. You could still wear all of these pieces. And she is very famous, or infamous maybe she should be more famous, for having photographed the Calvin Klein underwear outside the garments, so making it into the styling principle, which is still used by so many people in the world. So that's her big thing. Then she started her own brand, which was produced in Japan. And then when she became pregnant, she also made a baby line. And so she's always been moving through her life, adapting to her life, because her life comes first, and then designing or working accordingly. As a freelancer, she designed for many, many companies. One of the nice assignments was merchandise for Pantone to really bring the color. And recently she's been working in Morocco to teach local artisan women how to just elevate a product with an infinite, small but beautiful detail. And then again, I could see how wonderful that was done. We spent a lot of time when I was in New York, sleepovers we had, and we would lay on the couch for the whole evening into the night and just catch up and talk and talk and talk about our lives and so on. By then, she moved to Pennsylvania, and where she's living with her family and her husband and her dog. She is married to Alistair Gordon, and they both have a studio where they are making books about architecture, lifestyle, and design, very successful books. And they live in nature. And then also, she, 2 decades ago, she took up the problem of the waste of plastic, and she made that into, again, a company and into a school and into a philosophy. She's been doing TED Talks, and she's got prizes for this work, and she will continue to work on that angle. So this is a person I can trust, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I must tell you that even if I had so much hope for her to be so great, it is far exceeding my expectation. This is a real amazing first step, and it's you are really a curator of people, Barbara, and I'm super, super proud and happy to be your friend. Go ahead, darling.
Well, you've left me speechless. Who is this person?
Well, it's you.
Thank you. I love you. Yeah, I'm obviously so incredibly honored to be here and be doing this with Lee today. I mean, I admire Lee so much. So to hear these words from her is humbling and almost leaves me speechless. To be part of her team is kind of a dream for me. Lee has given all of us, and I'm sure so many of you that are watching right now, so much inspiration over the years. She's kind of shown us the way when we knew maybe where we were, where we are, but not where we're going to be. And she's always helped us channel our creativity along a path of inspiration that came from the future. I mean, she gave us memories from the future, and we worked with those. And even now, when you just introduced the reasons for doing this, for the World Hope Forum, you said we cannot give up. We need to we can't drop the ball now just because we've had a change of administration and everything feels a bit better because of COVID as far as consumption is concerned. We still can't give up. That's really good to hear and to know. And that's just one of those little things that you say that helps and kind of resonates into the future. You give us the gift of inspiration. And I see today as a day of gifts. At first I was nervous, and then I thought, no, I don't have to be nervous because I'm giving gifts, and there's nothing more exciting than giving people gifts. So all our gifts are forces of nature. The first force of nature I want to introduce to you is Dr. Janice Adams. She is an Emmy Award-winning journalist. She has her own NPR show. And when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, it was the day after the insurrection. And we knew, or we were hoping that there would be this change in administration. And I wanted to know from Janice how that affects the way she sees things. And she's going to talk about that today because Harris is a woman of color, Obama was a man of color, but we also had what happened in the last 4 years. So we can't pretend that things are better because under the surface there's something else. And I think the insurrection must have been terrifying. It was scary for us, but I think it was terrifying for Janice and her community. And if you just think about that, what that meant when you are a person of color and see that happen. So I hope that Janice is going to speak to that as well. And Janice, I think today will give us the gift of her knowledge. So I give you Janice, Dr. Janice Adams.